Quilliam Foundation are a think tank which monitors extremism amongst British Muslims. They are run by former Islamic radicals, one of whom is Ghaffar Hussain.
I grew up in a small town in the Midlands which had a very, very active presence of extremist groups in the early 90s and still has some elements today. So I was exposed to the rhetoric of these organisations from a very early age, from the age of 15. And at that time I found it very convincing and I kind of went along with it for a while, if you like, thinking it was the answer.
Quilliam was set up after the terrorist outrage of 7/7 by Ed Hussein and Majid Nawaz. One man who has met both is campaigner Dr. Siddiqui.
Ed Hussein published a book called Extremist. I read it and I was inspired by him, that he was a young man having this experience. He has come to the right conclusion. That Islam is a faith, is a religion, it's not an ideology. Here is a young man, been through the whole experience and come to a right conclusion. And being a young man, an articulated person, an activist, is the right person to confront the extremism that exists in our society.
Not all Muslims agree. In an exclusive interview, Labour peer Lord Ahmed had this to say.
Literature and all their attack has been on the Muslim community. I know somebody who worked for them, and then she came and worked in my office and she knew that there was something dodgy going on, that they were running some sort of agenda which was anti-Islam and anti-Muslim. Now, from all their work, their meetings in different political conferences and also here in Parliament, there's always been a sort of add-on to neocon and Zionist agenda, whether it is to do with radicalization in prisons or radicalization in the community. They've exaggerated.
Muslims found themselves under intense scrutiny after 9/11, with the spotlight turned on even further after the London bombings. Quilliam's supporters say there is a need for a British form of Islam.
The problem with the Ummah in Britain is this Pakistani backwoodsman type mullah who's dictating an obscurantist form of Islam to the people in Britain. Sophisticated and modern post-liberal British people are not interested in that backwoodsman's agenda for Islam. We want to modernise. We want to get into the modern world. And if that means, like Quilliam, abandoning terrorism, moving towards government and getting government help, then that should be the way forward. I have no objection to that.
That may be the case, but Quilliam have been controversial. For one, they have a very large budget, as Ghaffar explained from their Russell Square office.
Well, I think that figure for a particular year was a slight exaggeration. We had, I think it was around £800,000 that particular year, rather than the million. But I think over the course of 3 years, we've had obviously over £1 million.
And their work has been inaccurate.
When you're working under pressure and you have to produce, so many reports on one topic or the other, then of course, all reports or research work is not going to be of equal quality. Of course, some of their reports work is obviously of not the highest quality that one would expect from a think tank.
Further, they have damaged the Muslim community, as this campaigner explains.
Well, here we are, Ed Hussein and Majid Nawaz. We used to be, Islamists, as they put it. We know all about these people. We know about this community. We have seen the light. We've sort of crossed sides from one extreme to another, in my view. And we are the best equipped to tell you all about them, which, by the way, they are not.
The government recently froze funding. Some MPs think this was a mistake.
When we had a debate recently about the Quilliam Foundation in Westminster Hall, what was interesting to me was the cross-party support that came for the foundation and the expertise that clearly was there. So I think in these difficult times, in times of heightened security, it's important that we have the value for money, and it seems to me that the foundation offer that. Now, I've got no problem with the government scrutinise what it spends money on in these times of financial hardship. But you have to question whether a cut in funding or a reduction in funding that would have a significant effect on the ability to do the work, whether that would be the right thing to do.
Quilliam was set up to foster a greater understanding of Islam. They have not done this. Their work has simply reinforced stereotypes, and in doing this, they have let down everyone.
It's those who were hoping that the Quilliam Foundation would be able to provide them with any kind of solid solutions to the problems that were posed at their inception. I think that they were the biggest losers simply because they piled in so much money, so much effort and so much attention and PR into making the Quilliam Foundation something. And ultimately the fruits and the rewards were extremely scant.